We're entrepreneurs. God gave you that business for a reason and for a season. He gave it to you for a purpose. You need to run toward the challenge because you're prepared. You've prayed. This has been your passion. You know what you're doing. So there's no reason to fear. Welcome to another episode of Journey to Mastery. I'm your host, LZ, and listen, I'm super excited. You're watching this or listening to this. It is January 2026. So we made it through 2025. It had many ups, it had many downs. And that's actually what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk about how to be content at the highest peak in the mountain that you've ever been and in the valley. And the fact that you can be at your peak and in a valley at the same time, which is kind of crazy. But it's true. I've seen it happen in my life. I've seen it happen in other people's lives. If you ask any person who's achieved greatness, they'll tell you that the night they won the Grammy or they won an Oscar or something great happened, like right around the same time, something crazy happened. And I found that that is a theme. That is something that a lot of people share in terms of experience. But the bigger question is, why do entrepreneurs, kingdom entrepreneurs, why do we fail on the mountain and in the valley? What is it about the mountain, that's the peak and the valley that causes us to break or to get out of character and to break away from our faith and our hope in our lives and in our businesses? So I want to give you some tools that I think will help you when you're in the valley and also when you're at your peak. I want to offer you this scripture. Philippians 4:11-13 says that I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. Now, Paul wasn't saying that he loved the valley. He wasn't saying that he necessarily loved the peak either. He was just saying that he's content whether he's in a valley or in a peak. Now, not complacent. Complacent means you just throw your hands up and you're done. You give up no matter what. You feel like no matter what you do is not going to work anyway. That's complacency. And that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is being content. Can you truly be content with where God has you in your business? Can you truly be content with where God has you in your life right now? And for many of us, if we're honest, the answer is no. But what I want to get under, right, is how do we become content? People are anxious and they get fearful because they lose faith. If you have faith that no matter what was happening in your life, God is going to walk with you through it, you wouldn't worry about much because, at the end of the day, all things work together for the good that those who believe and are called according to his purpose. And so you don't worry about the things, right? You pray about it. You do what you can do. You do what you can, and you allow God to take care of the rest. Where we get off track is when we start to operate or try to operate in our own understanding, in our own will. That's where we get off track and we start to worry, we start to stress, and we start to make things bigger than they really ought to be. Both hands and both feet up. I've been in situations where I'm stressing out about it and I'm just trying to fix it and it just keeps getting worse, and I'm trying to fix it more and it just keeps getting worse until I finally take my hands off of it and I say, you know what? God, is in your hands. I've done everything I know how to do. I've prayed. I've fasted. I've read the books. I've done everything I can. It's in your hands now. And every single time it works out. It works out. Not the situation. Sometimes, it goes poorly. Maybe the business does close. Maybe the relationship does fail. Even in the failure, there's a lesson. And even in the failure, there's growth. So don't be afraid of it because it's inevitable. Now, if the valley seems unfamiliar, it's because God is preparing you for the part of the mountain you've not seen yet. Most entrepreneurs fear this, but I'm here to encourage you to embrace it. Run to the fear, right? I'm reminded of David. When David comes to the battlefield, right, his brothers are cowering and everybody's afraid of this giant who is whooping him up, right? David comes and he says, who is this dude? Like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that's disrespecting our God? And they tell him who it is. And he's like, and then they tell him the reward that the king said that whoever can defeat this giant, here are the things that they're going to get. David's like, hold my coffee, give me my sling, let me do my thing. And he starts to run toward the battle. He didn't run toward the battle because it was his first battle, or he was naive and didn't understand that he was in a battle and what was at stake. He ran toward the battle because he was prepared. He had slayed a lion. He had defeated a bear. He had protected his sheep. He was walking in his assignment. He was in alignment with where God had him in that season. So he ran toward the challenge. And that's what we got to be, right? We're entrepreneurs. God gave you that business for a reason and for a season. He gave it to you for a purpose. You need to run toward the challenge because you're prepared. You've prayed. This has been your passion. You know what you're doing. So there's no reason to fear. Elevation without preparation is spiritual sabotage. The mountain is going to require a part of you that you need to steward visibility, weight, and responsibility. Do not rush what God is refining. Contentment isn't settling. It's seeing. Contentment is clarity. It's the ability to recognize God's hand, whether you are in demand, you're speaking on stages and people are calling you to do things, or if you're being overlooked, or if you feel like you're being overlooked. It's like, why is this person getting this opportunity and not me? Right? That's contentment. It's understanding that maybe God's hiding you for a reason, or maybe it's not your season. Maybe it's not your turn. And it teaches you how to celebrate, how to truly celebrate the successes of others. Now, new beginnings rarely look like new beginnings. They look like chaos. They look like messiness. They look like disruptions. But in reality, they are a fresh start. They are a new outlook. They are an opportunity to reframe. Master your mindset, and the mountain and the valley become the same place, a training ground. When your mind is in alignment, your body, your spirit, your emotions are all in alignment with where God has you in that season. That is where you develop the muscle to win, and to win the way God has called you to win. Let me give you 3 ways to remain content, whether you're at a peak or in a valley. Number 1, reframe the season you're in. Every season is either revealing something in you or building something for you. I want you to ask yourself, what is this season shaping in me? Right? This is LZism number 1. Embrace your Genesis, even when it's uncomfortable. Number 2, allow yourself to be shaped and not shaken. Contentment comes from openness. Growth-driven entrepreneurs don't resist shaping. They lean into it like David. They run toward it. LZism 2, being open to being shaped. And number 3, expect the zig and the zag. The journey is not going to be linear. The valley is not evidence for failure. It is evidence of direction. Be willing to zig and zag. So here's your action. I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. What feels like a valley right now? Number 2, what might God be trying to teach me or shape in me in this season? And I want you to write this down every day. And at the end of the week, I want you to look at this, and I want you to look for patterns. I want you to look for lessons. And ultimately, I want you to look for the new beginning that this is shaping in you. Hey, listen, if this episode was impactful or insightful to you, I want you to do one thing. I want you to head to the show notes and join the Journey feed. This is where you grow your faith, you grow your focus, and you grow your business, one insight at a time. The link is in the show notes, and send it to somebody else. If you know a kingdom entrepreneur that could get value from this, send it to them and tell them that LZ sent you. Till next time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, can I get a oh yeah, can I get a